Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through the 5 things I wish I knew when I was in university. I'll be going through everything from boys to safety to mental health. So stay tuned till the end because this information will help save you from some really uncomfortable situations and help you make the most out of your university experience. So the first thing I wish I knew about when I was in university was safety escorts. Now, if you haven't heard about these are essentially people that are trained by the university to escort you safely to your home. I guess it's in the name, so it's pretty self-explanatory. But if you're ever having a late night where you're stuck at the library or you're stuck somewhere else on campus and you're alone and you're kind of nervous and scared to walk home, most universities have safety escorts that you can call up to meet you at wherever you are to walk you home safely. I was in this situation when I was in my first year. I was on campus and I was walking home alone since the majority of my friends were living in different residences that were really far from mine. So I was walking home and it was super scary, especially when you're not comfortable with the campus yet and you don't really know where everything is. It can be kind of scary and you're constantly looking over your shoulder, or you feel like you have to call somebody and talk to them the whole way home. And you don't really want to have to do that. You want to know you're safe when you're walking home. So the best way to do that is to call up a safety escort. It's always better to be safe than sorry, especially in a new place that you don't really know too much about. So make sure to use that resource because it is available at most universities. And if not, of course, do not be walking home alone at night like I was, unless you're with a friend or a group of friends. You always want to be walking with somebody when you're walking home because you never know who's roaming around the university. Sometimes people like to just go to the university and hang out who are not actually part of the university, and even people that are part of the university, you never know what their intentions are. So you just always want to make sure that you're safe and making the best choices possible. So just make sure that if your school does have safety escorts that you use them, or you're walking home always with a friend or a group of friends. I would hate to know that you guys didn't know about this and you walked home alone one night and something terrible happened to you, so just make sure that you're always trying to keep yourself as safe as possible. The second thing that I wish I knew about before starting university is that universities tend to offer a lot of free stuff. There's so many programs that you can download on your laptop, like Microsoft Office or Photoshop or anything else that might be relevant to your program. There's coupons, there's supplies that are for free, there's even lunches sometimes for free. So you want to be taking advantage of those things because you could really be saving yourself money. And who wouldn't like a free lunch? My university, every month they used to have a free lunch on campus, and they didn't advertise it a lot, probably because they didn't want too many people to show up, but you do want to keep an eye on your school's website or social media to find out what kind of things they have on campus and any free stuff that they might have, because who wouldn't want a free lunch when you can save yourself some money for the week? And any supplies or programs that you need could be offered by your university at a discounted price or for free. So always make sure to check that out before purchasing anything, because there are a ton of free stuff that a lot of students don't really know about. I didn't really find out about this until my last year, and I found out there were discounted movie tickets, which I had been going to the movies so much when I was in university because there was one right on campus for me. And I had wasted so much money when I could have been getting half-price movie tickets. So just make sure to check out your school's website or your student building to see what kind of discounts and free stuff that they're offering, because you could be saving yourself a lot of money. The third thing that I wish I knew when I was in university is that skipping classes is basically putting your money down the drain. If you went to a public high school or elementary school, university is not like that. To go to university, as you probably know, it's thousands and thousands of dollars, and those dollars go towards classes. So every class that you're skipping, you're essentially throwing all the money that you paid for that class down the drain. So you could be potentially losing hundreds to thousands of dollars by skipping a class or skipping multiple classes. So you always just kind of want to keep that in the back of your mind if you're thinking about skipping, that you paid for that class, so by not going, you're kind of wasting your money. So you really want to kind of have that mindset that all of your classes and all of the resources that you have available to you on campus are all things that you've paid for. So you want to get the most out of the tuition that you've paid, so skipping classes might not be the best choice. So I recommend going to every class if you can, because you wouldn't want to be paying thousands and thousands of dollars on a tuition that you're not even fully using. The fourth thing that I wish I knew when I was in university is that older students, especially guys, like to go to first year events and activities to kind of prey on the incoming freshmen. The reason why this is something that you want to know is because a lot of these guys go to these events with one thing in mind and one thing in mind only. And if you're not prepared for that, you can get yourself in an uncomfortable situation, or you can end up being pressured into something that you're not interested in. So if an older guy does come up to you at any of your first year events or activities that you might be participating in, just be aware that some of these guys can be a little bit predatory. You might be thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, like this guy's really interested in me, he's older, like he wants to go out with me, and you could end up putting yourself in a really uncomfortable situation because a lot of those guys, they just want to hook up with as many freshman girls as they can, and you don't want to fall into that trap. I know I fell for something similar in my first year. That's a story for another day, but I just want to make sure that you're aware of how some guys and girls, there's girls that can do this as well, how they can be so that you're not blindsided and pressured into something that you don't want to do. Because I would really hate to see you guys get taken advantage of by anybody or be put in a situation where you're super uncomfortable and your whole university experience gets ruined. So just be careful and be aware of the kind of people that are around you. If somebody comes up to you and compliments you and is really sweet, just always keep in mind what their intentions might be so that you don't end up putting yourself in a bad situation. Because I would hate it if you guys didn't know about this and somebody approached you and they ended up having some really bad intentions that you weren't aware of. So just make sure to always be careful and be aware that there are guys and girls that are like this. Know your boundaries and what you're comfortable with, and if somebody's pressuring you into something that you don't want to do, just make sure to remove yourself from that situation and always do what's best for you. The final thing that I wish I knew when I was in university is that there are a ton of mental health resources and counseling available to students on campus. If you're feeling stressed or you're feeling down or you're just not feeling like yourself, never feel like you're alone. There are so many resources now available to students. Most, if not all, universities have some sort of mental health programming or resources available to help students when they need some extra support. Whether it's the workload that's stressing you out, or if you're a little homesick from being so far away from family or friends, just know that there are so many resources available to students to help you if you need that extra support. I know at my university they offered counseling if you needed it, and they also had therapy puppies. Every week you could go to a little therapy puppy session where you could play with some puppies and just kind of de-stress and get your mind off things that might be bothering you. So I'm sure your university has a bunch of resources you can be using as well. I didn't find out about a lot of these resources until I was almost done university, and I would hate for the same thing to happen to you if you need some help. So just make sure that you're aware of what's offered on campus so that if you do need those resources, you know how to access them. I would never want you guys to feel alone or like you have nowhere to turn. There are so many people that are willing to help and that want to help, and I would never want you guys to feel scared to ask for help because university is super stressful on all of us. I know it was super stressful for me when I was in university, and it's expected. It's understandable to go through university and have some down moments and have some times where you just feel like you're not yourself and you need a little extra support, and that's okay. It's okay to ask for help, so you don't have to feel like it's something to be embarrassed about or something that's super scary. Trust me, universities have these resources for a reason and they are super useful. So just make sure to reach out and always know what is available to you for if you do ever need it, and just know that you are never alone. Well, those were the 5 things that I wish I knew when I was in university. I went into university a little bit naive and probably should have known these things. So hopefully now that you guys know this information, you can save yourself from being in some unsafe situations and can really make the most out of your university experience. Just always be safe and careful and know what's available to you on campus, and I'm sure you guys will have an amazing time. Thanks for watching, and make sure if you have any questions about any of the things that I talked about today that you comment those down below. And if you have any other questions about university that you might be a little bit scared or nervous about, you can also comment those down below and I'll make sure to respond. And if you haven't already, make sure to check out my other video on the top 6 tips that can help you prepare for university this fall. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more videos on university and life advice. See you guys next time. Bye.